Go to Vegas, bet it all. Put it on the Bucs win, whoever they gon' play gon' fall. Don't say I ain't told y'all. Loose cannons gon' fold y'all. Yeah, the Heat be 9-3, but it gets real cold in the fall. That's when the season start. Bucs come in 40 hard. Win after win, ripping the division apart. Panthers, they pussycats. Falcons got bird flu. Take the Ravens and Dolphins and open up a zoo. Cause one thing's for sure, better than the Bucs, they show lane. And every day in Tampa Bay, we say fuck the Saints. We in Tampa Bay, baby. 813 going crazy. Tampa, boy. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters. And we in Tampa Bay, baby. Tell them where you from. 813 going crazy. Yeah. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters. Now when I say the loose cannons, what? Do you know what I mean? I'm talking Bobby Latte, Stank Bastard, and Samurai Lee. You ain't never seen no hurt before, no podcast like this. These boys that entertain you, then take you on road trips, go to other cities, raid and pillage, watch the Bucs kick ass. If we
What is up, Bucs Nation? It is Thursday, October 17, 2024, and you're watching the Loose Cannons podcast presented by the 813 Network, which means you guys can find us as well as Fully Loaded and Inside the 813 and a bunch of video and written content about your favorite team on the813.tv. Yes, that's the actual URL of the website. And of course, right here on our Loose Cannons podcast YouTube channel and our new channel that's coming up soon. We'll be there soon. But you guys know who I am. I am Sammer, hanging out with my boy Stanker. Latte has the night off. His family's doing great, for those of you who are going to be asking. So we appreciate thoughts and prayers and all that good stuff. But Stanker,
the airboat brought him right back to his door.
Airboat took him home. Stanker, it's prime time. Monday Night Football, Raymond James Stadium. Okay, we got the Bucs, we got the Ravens. Massive matchup. It's kind of an old matchup for Baker Mayfield, who was in that division. Used to see the Ravens twice a year when he was the Browns quarterback. So a little bit of a homecoming type of feel there. But man, this is a big one, dude.
Huge game. Huge game for the psyche of this football team, I think. Everybody looks at the Ravens like a juggernaut. So we've already knocked off of one of the so-called juggernauts in Detroit. We should have beat Atlanta. We gave that game away. So I actually count that game as a win. We beat that team. We beat a lot of good teams already this season. This is a test. This is the litmus, right? You want to see how you stack up physically. You know they're going to come in here. This is a absolute heavyweight type bout. And the teams that dictate, the teams that dominate in the trenches in this game ultimately is going to end up winning most likely. So I'm excited. I don't know how this game is going to unfold. It could go either way. We could get absolutely fucking rolled, or we could come out and roll them. I have no clue. My expectations are just wide open.
So this is that stretch of games that started with the Eagles, where they called it the gauntlet, for the Bucs. They kind of, have weathered the storm pretty well. 2-1 coming out of it. Could be 3-0 coming out of it so far, learning in this game. But this one, in my opinion, is the toughest of all the matchups, and that includes the Chiefs. I think this one is the toughest challenge that we're going to see, and the toughest challenge that we have yet to see so far this season. And they are a good fucking football team, man. They started out 0-2, and then they just went on a roll. And they are a good football team, top to bottom, and they're physical. It reminds me a little bit of that Lions game, like you said, Stank. So I think we should be able to lean on that experience. The bounce back that we got last week, coming off of a game where we didn't play well against Atlanta. Also learning our lesson against the Denver Broncos when we're coming in high as hell off the Eagles win. All those things I think are going into this game. So this is do you see the same thing I'm seeing in terms of like, it really isn't a better team on our schedule, and that's not to say the Chiefs aren't good or even on the same level, but this team is just loaded at almost every level, and they're very physical to match.
They are. This is an old school football team, but with Lamar. Lamar brings that ability to hurt you in a way that most teams can't. And he is going to get his. We all know that. If you think that you're going to hold him to nothing, you're this wishful thinking. So it was just a car accident right out in front of my house. Anyways, but I feel like we match up well against what they do well. We got a little bit of a preview to the rollout style quarterback, that boot last week. They were able to hurt us a little bit, the Saints, with that boot and the crossers and shit like that. So they know that the Ravens saw that. We know that they do that well, and they have really good tight ends. So that's going to be a tough matchup for us. Zay is one of those little, quick burst guys like the Steve Smith type that can hurt you in a lot of ways too. So they have that ability to hurt you in the passing game. But I'd rather force them to beat us with the pass. And I think a lot of people say that, you don't want Lamar to beat you with his legs. You want to make him beat you with his arms. And he's capable of doing that, which makes him so hard to defend. So it's going to be tough fucking, it's a tough game, man. Tough for sure.
Yeah, I think if you were to start in one position or look at one place to kind of beat them, I think you've got to continue. The Bucs over the first couple weeks of the season weren't very great at stopping the run. I think they got healthier. Vita got back to the mix, and then obviously we got Elijah Cansey back last week. And every single week since, over the last 3 or 4, we've gotten better progressively at stopping the run. Last 2 weeks, very good at stopping the run. Last week, unbelievable against Alvin Kamara on a team that didn't really have a quarterback, so you had to do it. Against this team, it's got to start there. The Bucs have to continue to stop the run. So that matchup that I think everyone, as a Bucs fan, maybe just myself, I'm looking at Elijah Cansey, Vita Vea versus the center and the 2 guards of this Ravens team and their physicality up front and stopping Derrick Henry. We did see Derrick Henry a couple of seasons ago when he was a Titan. He had no quarterback necessarily, but I think we held him to like 23 or 25 yards rushing, really low, obviously. We've held him in check. But the way we tackled in that game, the way we tackled against the Saints, the way we tackled against the Eagles, the way we tackled against the Lions, obviously we don't have Dennis, that's how we got to tackle in this game against Henry and Lamar. If we could take away that massive part of their offense, because they basically lean on the run game, and if they get an early lead, they lean on it even harder, and that basically is what they've used to win games over the last 4 weeks. If we can take that away, which is I think a strength of ours, we have a really, really good chance.
Yeah, and just looking at their schedule, they lost to KC, they lost to the Raiders, and they've won 4 straight. Dallas, circle in the drain. Buffalo was a good win. Cincy, I mean, look at Cincy. But if
you watch that game though, they went back and forth.
It was a good game. But that's a division game too, so they kind of know each other. They know. They know the ins and outs of each other, and then they beat a good Washington team last week. So, I think we're cut above most of those teams, at least in my mind. And that could be, me wearing rose-colored glasses, but we are also good defensively. We are getting healthy on defense, and we're also hard to stop on offense. So yes, they bring a lot to the table on both sides, but so do we. So, that's why I just don't, you're going to go back to all the cliche shit. Teams that protect the ball and that don't beat themselves, penalties. We can't give up special teams, fucking scores and stuff like the hidden yardage. All that has to go in our favor. We have to play our best football, and we still might not beat them. So it's exciting, man. We don't get a chance to go up again against them very much in prime time, where we don't typically play very well. So, and we're wearing red jerseys, which we don't typically
do very well
very
often.
Yeah.
So my thing, there's two thoughts on this. So we faced them a couple of years ago. That was the game where the center, who's a very good center, by the way, all pro type guy, embarrassed Devin White. Do you remember that? He put him on sleds the entire game. We played them really well in the first half. They made adjustments at halftime, and Todd Bowles' defense got shredded by the run, basically. It didn't even matter who they were handing the ball to, and obviously Lamar does Lamar-type things, and then it just opened up everything for them, and they basically out-physicaled us. I don't know how many guys from that team...
If I remember correctly, we got wore down in the first half. Like,
correct.
Our offense couldn't do shit.
Correct.
And our defense just gassed, and that was what's happened, honestly, outside, under the last year's Leftwich, we just couldn't do shit. We couldn't score. Frustrating. Tom was
and that hurt the defense a lot.
Yeah, it hurt the defense quite a bit. If we can score and put the pressure on them and give our defense a lead like we've been doing lately, it's a completely different situation. So
if we can score quickly like we have the last 3 weeks and then stop the run on top of that, I think you force them to, you kind of have them help you with the run game at that point, because they have to kind of abandon it. They're not going to keep handing the ball off to Derrick Henry banging his head into the line for no reason. But you got to stop it first. If they gash us from the very get-go, or they're able to kind of lean on that run, if it's like a 7-3 game and it's not far away, 10-7, 13-7, shit like that, then they're just going to lean on it. And I think that's where we're going to end up wearing down. I mean, honestly, I don't like Greg Gaines coming in the game too often. I don't think he does very well all the time. There's moments where he picks the worst moments to have terrible angles, or come off the ball wrong, or just take himself completely out the play. But also, like, Vita Vea is not going to play every snap, and neither is Will Golston, and neither is Logan Hall. And I don't know if you noticed in that Saints game, they were running him kind of in like hockey shifts all throughout the game. I don't like that in this game, but I also know that it's also it's a necessity, because otherwise they're going to get worn down. But if we can stop them and keep that game to where it's not so close, it helps us in that regard. And then, like I said, I don't like the usage of Greg Gaines. I just overall don't like it. I don't understand why we take guys out in shifts like that and put in our entire backup defensive line. I know you and me have like argued about this in the game, or we've yelled at Todd Bowles during the games in the stadium, where it's like, I get it. If you want to take Vita out and rotate these guys, but why do this full-on shift of dudes? It doesn't make sense to me, because then you're putting in all your backups as opposed to one or two dogs. Obviously, you got Cansey back now, so maybe it's a little bit different. This is a big game. This is also one of those games, Stank, that we might be better than them at some point, and we might lose this game, but still come away from it saying we're just not good enough yet. And like it would be an okay loss, or like you could swallow it. Obviously, don't lose 51-0, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, like I said, this is one of those games that's really hard to judge, and it wouldn't shock me if we lost this game. But I don't know, man. Like, offensively, we've been hot, and we are getting healthy on defense, and we just beat our rival to absolutely to death, bro. Like, we broke their franchise. You're gonna see it tonight, bro. It's over. Saints are done. Yeah. Franchise is over.
Especially
Fire sale.
Asshole face.
Fired. Yeah, exactly. Butthole mouth. Sean Payton's going to destroy his former team. It's it, bro. We finally broke them. They're gone. They're done. They're gone. They're going to blow that franchise up. And so we're playing with a little extra confidence. Plus, as you said, Baker's not scared of the Ravens. Okay, and really, neither are we. It's they AFC NFC shit. That daunting AFC shit doesn't fly here, honestly. So we got our work cut out for us. This is not going to be an easy game. They are a powerhouse football team, but so are we.
So kind of following along the same lines of stopping the run. Obviously, Lamar Jackson is a quarterback. They use him to run the ball. He's having a fucking MVP year again. He might actually be doing better than he was doing last year at this point. He's only thrown 2 picks, so he's taking care of the ball. He's got 10 touchdowns. He's got 403 rushing yards. Okay. That's more than any one of our running backs has at this point in the season. He's the fucking quarterback. And also he has Derrick Henry, who's also over 400 yards rushing. So again, I'm afraid of that matchup in terms of the read option with a guy like Britt or a guy like Levante, who's not the same Levante. He makes up for it by being, ahead, IQ wise, but he's not going to be able to, take Lamar off that read option. The edge guys, they're younger. Those guys are typically going to fall for that a little bit if they crash hard. We got to really play sound on the edges and kind of in the face of Lamar, or we're gonna, or like you said, you want him to beat you with his arm. He's shown that he can do that this year, man. But no one's also stopped their run outside those first 2 weeks. So that's the one thing, man.
Pieces in the secondary. Okay, this secondary right now is playing their ass off. We got Winfield back. Zion's playing at a Pro Bowl level right now, as we all expected him to. Hopefully Dean will be back, but I don't know, man. Like I said, we're playing really confident. And Todd Bowles is that guy, bro. Todd Bowles has seen it all. He's an old school coach. He knows what they're bringing. It's an old school approach. Harbaugh and Bowles, it's a really actually a good chess game type of matchup.
But it's not
comes down to execution at that point.
But it's not about that secondary. It's not necessarily. I'm not saying he's going to pick us apart with. He just poses such a unique challenge at the line of scrimmage for everyone up there, the front seven. So they've all got to be.
We're built for speed, bro. This team can run. Our defense can run and hit.
But the two games stink that we look bad. We didn't tackle well.
Yeah, but we were limping. Okay, we're back to full strength again. That's the main difference. We've got our superstar 3-tech in there now. You got our young guys got a little bit of momentum on the outside. Our linebackers can run and hit, and that's what we do in the secondary. So I feel like we match up well with them. Derek traditionally hasn't played well against us. I think the last time somebody in the chat put, last time we played him 23 yards. Yeah. He's a big back. We're beefy in the middle. We've got size, and I feel like we can handle that. And Lamar's still human, bro. Like I get it. We can make him into, the greatest fucking thing since sliced bread, but he's still human. He can still be beat. And
it's not that stink. Like I said, I think say you stop Henry, they're going to be able to lean on the RPO game. They're going to be able to lean on the play action game. And if we're so focused on stopping that run, we're going to crash. We're going to overcompensate. We're going to overflow on that defense. And then you're going to have him. I mean, we saw what Jane Daniels did to us in week 1. We saw Bo Nix get out of the pocket. We saw even last week, Rattler found a couple of spots where he was able to move and get away from sacks and tacklers. So now you're getting the creme de la creme of that, and he can throw the ball too. But he's primed. He understands how to use his legs at this point. He doesn't take a lot of hits like he used to when he was younger. How do we combat? Are we going to have a spy on him? Is there going to be a situation where we take advantage of having the Swiss Army knife in Tyke Smith? Right? We have Antoine, obviously. I think we have 2 Swiss Army knives there that we can kind of keep in the box. Jordan Whitehead, phenomenal tackler, comes in to run help all the time. I think that guy's an X factor in this game. Maybe he's the guy that kind of just hovers around, the weak side of the defense just in case Lamar wants to run. And I agree with you. Cansey makes a massive part of this defense, to our advantage. If we can get pressure up the middle in this kid's face, it makes it a little bit easier to kind of defend him at that point, because then you can kind of not have to lean on blitzing up the middle. You can maybe blitz on the outside, and run blitzes are more what Todd does anyway. So that kind of works in our favor. Yeah.
And the thing that's unique about Todd's defenses, and really the pieces he's brought in here, guys like JTS, guys like Diaby, they're hybrids in a weird way. Those guys can run in space. They can play in space. We put them in space all the time. When you ask, how do you stop the RPO game? It's not really on Britt and Levante. It's on our outside linebackers, our defensive ends, to stop that, to be disciplined and to pick up on their keys and be intelligent, because that's where he's going to try to hurt you outside the pocket. But those guys have length and speed and can tackle well. So again, I feel like we have the ability to stop it, but he's the best at doing it. So we haven't faced a guy like him. And that's why they put crazy types of pressure on you. And then adding a guy like Henry, it's almost unfair to add that guy, because, it's only 11 guys, right? And if you're going to use your resources to try to stop Lamar beating you with his feet, that's when the ball's in Henry's hands, and you don't have him. He's not the focus. So it's a conundrum, man. That's why it's like, fuck, they can beat you in a lot of different ways. And oh, by the way, tight ends have traditionally eaten against us, and that's what they do best. They eat you up with the tight ends. They eat you up with Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely's and guys like that. So nothing's easy about this, right? But
Likely is such a massive piece in this game, because he does exactly what we aren't good at covering in the middle of the field, whether it's Levante or KJ Britt. No offense to Levante, but if we don't get pressure on Lamar, and he's got days to find those soft spots in the middle of this, I mean, Stank, he's thrown 2 picks the entire year. He has 10 touchdowns. Okay, he's only been sacked
But he's
7
due.
times. I
He's
get
due.
it. I get it. I'm just saying, like, to say we want him to beat us with his arm. I get that notion. I get it because it takes away the the double-edged sword that he produces. But he's still playing so ridiculously well because his weapons are helping him. His weapons are making plays. They're getting open, and he's going against a defense that has struggled since Dennis has gone out with that middle part of the field. They have 2 tight ends now. Mark Andrews somehow woke up from his slumber of 3.5, 4 weeks. So, it's easily the most challenging quarterback that we will face, I think, this entire year, even with Patrick Mahomes on the schedule.
Yeah, I going back to that last time that we faced them, I don't think Lamar really hurt us with his feet.
Different offense. It was a different offense.
Different offense. But we're gonna have to see. Ultimately, when you face a team like this, you want to keep that offense off the field. So, we can dictate that by putting points up, keeping that run game, to a minimum and forcing them to have to throw the ball against us. And we've done that so far this season, in spurts. And, last week was just the bukkake of production on offense. And if you guys don't know what that means, look it up. That's what we did to the Saints. Bukkake. That's actually what happened in that game.
You're going to get
I got off track.
Yeah, you're going to get the
bots. I got off track. Sometimes I get off track. I get really excited, especially since they're on my TV right now. Fucking pieces of shits. So,
we're going to watch them get destroyed tonight. So it's going to be a fun night. I've never rooted for Sean Payton team to win. I'm rooting tonight. But I also just want him to get hit by a bus on the way out of the stadium at the end of it all. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't bother me one bit if, Denver's up by 30 or something. And then, I don't know, Kamara just absolutely loses control of his body and takes Sean Payton's knees out. And I mean, like his knees actually come off. That wouldn't.
You're going a totally different route there. I thought you were going to say that the Saints come back and then they lose a heartbreaker. Like, I would love to see them lose a heartbreaker, but also kind of give Sean Payton a stroke in the meantime, right? To where, but he have him so angry that he's giving up a massive lead, losing his shit on the sidelines, and then he wins it last minute. So he kind of ripped the Saints' heart. I mean, right now their hearts are hanging by 45 different bandages. It's barely there, right? The last thing that really would put the dagger right through would be a heart-wrenching last-second, play, field goal, anything like that, a penalty that doesn't get called, that doesn't go their way. Something like that would be awesome tonight.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Listen, that crowd already doesn't know how to react, right? You got Drew Brees getting inducted into the mid Hall of Fame or whatever they do in that stupid stadium.
Did you see the video that he put out?
No, I didn't.
He's teaching the crowd a chant that they're gonna do with him, and it's complete bullshit, dude. It's like, I'm gonna go 1, 2, dude, it's so bad, and it's like a 10-minute long explanation video, and some guy took it and did a spoof of it and goes, "Oh, hold on, Drew, you want me to count and remember?" No, dude,
doesn't he know that it's Louisiana, bro?
It's Louisiana,
those people barely speak the English language to begin with, much less count. Right, like half of them never even went to fucking school. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, I don't know, bro. Maybe something crazy will happen during the game, and they'll both somehow lose. That'd be kind of funny. So I don't know.
Ever. Let's focus back on this game. We talked about them running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Let's flip it to our offense, man. Last 3 weeks,
who should be scared of the run right now? Them, not us.
Last 3 weeks, the Bucs are one of the best rushing teams in the NFL. And don't look now, somehow we're in the top 15 or whatever. Yeah, because you said bukkake 12 times. Listen, so let me look. In this game, Bucs O-line has to continue what they've been doing. I don't expect to see massive gaping holes like we saw against the Saints last week. This is a good rush defense. I believe they have the best rush defense in the entire. Yeah, they have the best run defense in the entire NFL. They only give up 59 yards a carry, or 59 yards a game. Sorry. But that's because they run the ball so well, they build leads, and they kind of just take it out, and you don't want to keep running the ball against them. And they have a pretty weak secondary on their thing. So that's kind of one of those things where people are rushing the ball fewer times because they're trying to take advantage of that defense on the back end. But the Bucs O-line's got to play well, man. this is old school game. You know, lots of those cliches, like you said. You got to win in the trenches in this game on both sides of the ball, in my opinion. Like Tristan Wirfs, Graham Barton is back. I don't know if that's good or bad. This is another test for a guy who's been up and down as a rookie, which is expected. You got Luke Gedeke back. Mock's got to, be a glass eater. Bredesen's got to continue to be pretty solid for the most part. But man, you gotta keep Baker clean, and you got to be able to run the ball. It's like 100 yards, not 200 yards, not 300 yards. Just get me 100 yards in this game as a group, and I think we're in a good position to possibly win this game.
Yeah,
tough.
You brought up this goes for every quarterback, but keeping Baker clean, that has to happen, right? If they start getting pressure on that guy, they start putting up points, we may end up seeing bad Baker in this game. So we already know the formula, right? Just fucking keep your pedal down, keep scoring points. They're gonna have equally as a tough time stopping us as we do stopping them. We're like first in the league in points right now.
Yep. Tied with the Washington Commanders that they just faced as well too.
Yeah, exactly. So, they bring a new challenge. We don't know each other very well, but it's still football at the end of the day. And you can go back to all that cliche shit, right? Teams that tackle well, block well, and execute are ultimately going to end up winning games like this. Special teams, which again has not been our strong suit, and I hate to keep on beating the dead horse, but that game, special teams could have lost us the game last week had we just not, completely woke the fuck up in the second half and made the adjustments we needed to. So they show up like that, we start losing the field position game, not making kicks. They're dominating in that third phase. Then it's just going to make that even that much harder to beat this team.
They're a very good special teams team. They've always been that way. I believe Harbaugh was a special teams coach before he ever became a head coach. So his teams have historically been very good on specials. They make plays in coverage unit. They make plays in blocking unit. They run fakes. They kick field goals consistently. And, of course, they return punts. So they do it all top to bottom on specials. But in this game, I think one of the key things for the Bucs is you got to control that time of possession and not necessarily play old school ball and bleed the clock, but you can't afford to have 3 or 4 3-and-outs in this game, because then you're just giving the ball back to them. They're going to lean on their physical offensive line, and they're going to lean on our defense, and they're going to kind of wear us out. The Bucs have to help the defense in this game, even if they don't score points necessarily every single time, but they have to control the clock in a way that they're not just going out, 3-and-out, boom, going back to the sideline. That cannot happen. I think they've gotten out of that for the most part over the last 3-4 weeks. Other than maybe the Broncos game where I thought they really had, a few terrible lulls that kind of lasted too long. But other than that game, I think they've been pretty good about that. 3rd and Godwin's been ridiculous. 2nd and Fun has been awesome. So, they're going to try to take away our run, and they're good at it. So in this game, I'd like to see Liam set up that, kind of do what he did with the Saints, where he set up the run with the pass early. You went pass heavy, and then figured it out, and then leaned on that run, and then we just kind of gashed them as the game went on. We just out-physicaled them.
They can be beat. Yes, they have some players.
Sure.
Yes, they have some players in their secondary. They got, one of the better safeties in the NFL. I mean, he's compared to Winfield, he's trash. But, so what I think Cincinnati put 5 touchdowns on him, up over 300 yards. We have the ability to put up points here. And we're going to need to here. I'm not saying we're going to be able to just move up and down the field on a defense like that, but like I said, I feel like
they can be passed on. They can be passed on.
It can be passed on. That's what we do best. I'm assuming that the game plan will be get the ball out of Baker's hands quickly and use our physical receiving core to our advantage. We're hard to stop right now, and we're playing with confidence. And Liam is in his fucking bag. So good luck to them stopping this offense. Same for our defense. Slowing down Lamar and Henry, but I still like our chances. I really do.
So last couple of weeks, especially going back to last week against the Saints, those wide receiver screens have been really effective, picking up yards, getting the ball into the flat to the running backs have been very effective. Obviously, taking advantage of Mike Evans being bracket covered in cover one. You got Sean Tucker going down the field, scoring a touchdown, making plays, forcing them to miss tackles. I think that I could see a scenario where Liam leans on a fake wide receiver screen and goes over the top, gets these guys to kind of lean on some of the tendencies that he's been showing over the last 3 weeks and take advantage of that, because their secondary, like I said, can be beat. And use that pass early, man. Take advantage of it. Go up and down the field fast. Start fast, and then as they try to kind of go back and reset and kind of adjust, then you can kind of maybe lean on, sprinkle that run in a little bit, and as the game goes on, you sprinkle a little bit more. I think that's the formula that they figured out against the Saints last week, is like, we really don't have to do this in the first quarter, but we also can't just pass the entire 4 quarters. Like, we can't be on pace to throw 65 times a game. It's not gonna be a recipe for success. So I think I like this side of the ball. Like, I think we have a really good advantage on this. Even if we don't run the ball well necessarily, they could be passed on, man. And Joe, Baker's playing better than Joe Burrow right now, honestly. So if he was able to do it with a lot fewer pieces, a lot fewer weapons, with no offensive line up there, I think the Bucs have a pretty good shot, and they have a pretty creative guy in Liam Cohen running the show too.
Baker's playing better than just about every quarterback in the NFL right now. So, I'm confident that if we can keep this momentum, they're playing with a ridiculous amount of confidence. So it doesn't really matter what I think. They're being coached with confidence. This coaching staff trusts Baker. They trust this unit. Why would they not? You can pound your chest all you want. I see a couple of Ravens fans in the chat, but as far as I know, there's 0 Super Bowl rings in that locker room. So y'all have yet to be able to win games that matter. This locker room has a bunch of guys who've won games that mattered. So when you get down to it in a fist fight like this, that kind of shit comes into play. So simmer down.
Those playoff games, what are they usually about? The physicality goes up. Teams tend to lean on running the ball a little bit more. Sometimes it's cold weather, so they naturally don't go, air raid offense the entire game. And that's when the Ravens seem to kind of get their asses beat, or they make mistakes. Happened against the Chiefs a couple of times. This game's going to be like that, but I anticipate this game will also be a high-scoring old-school match, if that even makes sense. It's going to be a smash-mouth game that's going to have some fireworks, in my opinion. But yeah, I like our chances, man. Even with Mike Evans not practicing today, everybody out there, chill out. I think he's at the age now in his NFL career where he just doesn't need to practice, and he can take a few days off, and that's get him from game to game is more important than getting him practice reps. I'm not worried about it. I think having him on the field in any capacity helps your offense no matter what. Obviously, the Saints were so focused on him that they stopped covering everybody else, and he wasn't even getting the ball. He wasn't even running routes half the time. So, I think Mike will play in this game because it's part of the game plan at that point, right? Hopefully he doesn't re-injure or aggravate anything, but it's a massive game, dude. It's Monday Night Football. It's at Raymond James. We're wearing red. All right, it's the Baltimore Ravens. It's the Michael Vick show, of 2020. So this is it, there's no way you guys are missing this game. They're amped up for it. Extra day off. Confident both sides too, man. This is gonna be fun, Stang. It's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, I read somewhere earlier we're undefeated when we beat the Saints, coming off a win against the Saints.
Oh wow,
we've never lost the week after we beat the Saints. I read that somewhere. I don't know if it's true, but I'm gonna stand.
One of those games was the NFC Championship game, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, advantage Bucs.
Here's another stat. All right,
and it's Florida, right? We got the heat. Oh wait, that's right. It's night and it's gonna be cold.
But here's the other thing, Stank. Okay, we are undefeated after we've won the NFC Championship game. We've never lost a game after winning an NFC Championship game.
That's true.
And not only that, we blow out the next opponent. So, I mean, saying, if we get to the NFC Championship game, I like our chances, man. Honestly, but obviously that's a long way down the road. All right, keys to the game, man. All right, keys to the game and your score prediction, which I believe this year has been the exact same every single week. I think last week was the one time you undersold it or undershot it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
no, dude, I'll just go with my score prediction first, because unlike the other games, I felt like I could project what might happen. So This one leaves me, like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm a little bit in limbo. So I'm going to be a little bit more conservative, and I'm going to say Bucs 31, Ravens 12. It's a close game it's like 12-12 going into the fourth quarter.
That doesn't add up, but yeah.
It's 12-12 going into the fourth quarter.
14-12 would be the only scenario that could possibly
Whatever.
happen.
Where it's real close. 11-12, 12-12. It's going to be somewhere in that realm going into the fourth quarter. And then, the dam breaks, the levee breaks. Like we're still licking our wounds after 2 hurricanes. Like y'all don't know how hard and hardened and hard I am right now thinking about the energy that's going to be in that stadium on Monday, right? Like this is for the city. We just wiped the fucking plate up in New Orleans. We get to come home in front of our fans who've just been through hell and back. Half of them don't even have their homes anymore, right? You know that energy is going to be real in that stadium. Players being able to spend some time with their families this week, like they've been through it. Okay, that's a brotherhood right now. And look the fuck out. So 31-12.
We're also going to get the red lights in the stadium in the pregame, at the halftime. Yeah. We might even get Santa Claus playing AC/DC on the fucking pirate ship. All right, this is a night game. We haven't seen him since last night game I've gone to. So I mean, this is a special night, man.
You think we're gonna bring out like a ex-pro wrestler, potentially get the crowd rolling in there, red lights, fucking bots in the chat, you pieces of shit. Hold on, but I can block you. Bye-bye. Block. So I'm sure they're gonna bring out a little something special, but we don't need it, bro. We really don't. Like I want to get emotional just thinking about what it's gonna be like in that stadium. Because so many people's lives have been affected, and they have a second reason to play. Which is why I thought we saw some of the best football out of this team last week. Even though I feel like they kind of blew their wad and then had to, ball that fist back up and swing again. So back to my keys of the game, pretty easy. Key number one, if everybody in the chat's going to agree with this, you can't let Lamar beat you with his legs. You got to make him beat you with his arm. So we can't let him dictate the pace of the game. And I feel confident our corners tackle well. Our outside linebackers tackle well. Our inside guys have foot speed. He's going to get his here and there, but we can't let him dictate the game. So number one. Number two, I just said it, tackle. Tackle well, man. Wrap this fucking dude up. Put a little Vita juice on him, little belly to belly, missionary. Let that guy know what he's facing out there. He's never seen a dude that can run like 50. Like Lamar thinks he's some alien from a different planet. He was gifted these wheels.
That's a good point.
But then you look across the line, you got a guy that can run as easily as well as you and outweighs you by 300 pounds, right? Like if you want to put Vita and Lamar in a 3-cone, you want to put Vita and Lamar in the 40, you really want to put them anywhere. My money's on 50. Okay. My money's on that guy. And then my third and final key to the game, I gotta look at I have notes, Simmer. I have notes for the first time ever on this episode.
I like it a lot.
And my note says, stay aggressive, Liam. Stay aggressive, Liam Cohen. Okay. Get out there, get those points, get them often. Don't get into this, old school type of mentality where you want to keep it close and play clock ball. Fuck that. Put pressure on them, put points up. Bucs 31, Ravens 12. You guys go home. Bye-bye.
I like it. So another thing that I didn't get to touch on yet that goes into my score prediction and my keys of the game. This team is on a winning streak in the Ravens right now. And there's nothing that's more pressure packed than that. And most of the time, like you're not winning 10 straight games in the NFL. It's very rare. You're not winning 7, 8 in a row. I believe they're on 4 straight now. It's hard to win 5 in a row in the NFL. This is the NFL. It's the men's league. Okay. So like they're due one. Like at that point, they're due one. They're confident. They're feeling themselves. They feel undefeated. We've seen this team with a lot of young guys on this Ravens team get overconfident in the past, be excited about beating a certain team and come back and, lay a dud the next week. We've seen Lamar do it a few times. Not to discount his talent, not to say that they're not a good team. I'm just saying, you never know, man. 5 in a row is hard. It's tough. And the more you add that to that string, the harder and harder it gets. Ask any team any team the NFL has ever played. You could ask us. I don't think we've ever had more than 3-game winning streak in our maybe 5-game winning streak in our history. Yeah, but My keys to the game. All right, I'm going to give you my score prediction at the end.
Sammer, why don't you give me your keys to the game? Score prediction
Keys
to the game. Let me hear them.
Listen, win the wars in the trenches. Straight up, just on both sides of the ball, there's going to be a war between Vita and Cansey and the offensive line of the Ravens. And then on the other side, there's going to be a war between Tristan Wirfs and anybody else in that front seven that they got going on, with Graham Barton obviously in the mix, Mock, the boys up front. You got to win on those sides. And that doesn't mean just run the ball. That means control the clock on offense, third and Godwin. And yes, I loved last week taking the ball first. Fuck playing defense first. Fuck, trying to double up before halftime. We don't use our timeouts properly to do that anyway. So who gives a shit? Take the ball first and keep the streak alive. 4 games in a row, scoring on the opening possession. Take it into the end zone and make it 7-0 and put the pressure right back on the Ravens from the go. So you can do that if you win in the trenches. Second key to the game, attack the Ravens secondary. If you attack the Ravens secondary, use that approach to set up the run throughout the game, sprinkle in these guys, find a way to use all 3 of these dudes. Rashad practiced today, so I believe that because of his pass pro and his ability in the passing game, which I think will be huge in this game, he will still be the starter. He'll probably get less touches than we've seen him get before, but he's going to get his touches and his opportunities in the pass game, and then they're going to, I think, lean on Sean Tucker as the game goes on to kind of close it all out. But that starts with attacking their secondary right from the start and playing to set up the run with the pass. And then my final key, one of yours as well, Stank, tackle. And I mean gang tackle. Tackle the fuck out of Henry to start the game, get them uncomfortable, get them to start to kind of doubt their ability to run. And when you get a chance to get Lamar down, you got to get him down. That goes for you, JTS. That goes for you, Yaya. That goes for you, Levante. And that goes for you, Anthony Nelson. You get a chance to get this guy down, you got to get him down. This would be a big game for Tyke Smith, in my opinion. I think he has a good game again. Follows up what he's been doing so far outside of one game in Atlanta. He's played phenomenal for a rookie. He's going to be an X factor in this game, in my opinion. He's going to be playing backer. He's going to be playing close to the line of scrimmage. He's going to be in the nickel position. He's going to be coming in on blitz. And I would not be shocked if he's the guy that they use to spy on Lamar Jackson, because he's going to be around there anyway. And you don't want to take away Jordan and Antoine from, the back end. But I would not be surprised if I see all 3 of those guys. And yes, if Isian's back, I can't wait to see the dime package that Todd's going to roll out, where he's got one linebacker and multiple DBs hanging out around the line of scrimmage, can tackle, can blitz, don't know who's coming from where. Vita's dropping back in coverage as a spy on Lamar. It's going to be a fun one, dude. It's going to be a fun one. And my score prediction with all that, 31-27 Bucs. Physical-ass game, but we pull it out. I could see it going the complete opposite way, but still playing well. But I'm going with the good guys. 31-27. Bucs continue that streak on offense. They do just enough. The defense does their job enough. They get a key stop, a key 4th down, and they fix what they should have done in Atlanta and actually come through in the closing minutes of this game. 4-minute offense going to be on display in the 4th quarter, boys.
Low scoring game, huh? Only 31. I said only 31. We're used to scoring in the 50s. So, people think that we're being outlandish here. That's well below. It's 20 points below our average. And Sammer, I feel like you've been a little hard on Levante David this episode. I've never heard you criticize him ever. And you criticized him several times, like worried about Levante David doing his job. Is that even a thing?
Levante's gotten older. So, yeah, he's missed some tackles. So he's got to be absolutely the best version of himself in this moment, in this game. I anticipate that he will be. It's primetime game. It's in front of the entire world. The entire galaxy's watching it. But man, can we go back to that fucking? I just went on like a fucking a tear, dude. You see that? That was Gruden-esque to an extent. That's pretty solid.
Bro, can we talk about what fucking type of cocaine Gruden is shipping in from where, and where do I get some of that?
Dude, I love it.
The only other person that looks like that is Sean Payton, bro. So whatever they're snorting, they're actually friends too, aren't they?
Yeah,
like whatever they're snorting, they got that good shit. Whatever they got in DC. I don't know, bro. That guy is on something serious these days. Gonna fucking pop.
It's awesome though. You see, I mean, his content is ridiculous right now, and he's breathing pretty heavy, trying to get everything out. He's not, fit Gruden like he used to be, but those videos are pretty
Yeah,
solid.
he's a fat Gruden, and people criticize me for calling him fat.
Nah,
he's fat.
It's cool. He's better as fat Gruden. I like fat Gruden.
Yeah.
I like when he goes, Yaya Diaby. That's what he said. The Buccaneers have a guy here in Yaya Diaby. Okay, this guy is a freak. He can run, he can tackle, he can fly. Yaya Diaby, key to the game on defense for Todd Bowles, who absolutely loves to blitz from everywhere. Very multiple, very exotic. Yaya Diaby.
That's pretty fucking good, bro. Listen, I think if you polish that thing up, bro, you could have your own segment, and whatever that's
cocaine segment.
Yeah, exactly. Yaya Diaby.
Yaya Diaby. This guy is an alien, okay? Yaya Diaby. He probably likes him because he's got Spider 2 Y Banana in his name, basically.
Stammer, when it comes down to it, man, this might be an old school take, and I might get criticized for this, but I like my quarterbacks to be able to win from the pocket. Guys like Lamar, I don't believe in them. I don't buy into that game. Okay, run for your 100 yards. I don't care as long as we get the W at the end of the game.
He won't
do your thing. Dance around, have a good time, be flashy. Traditionally, though, Bucs, we own running quarterbacks like that. Just go ask Michael Vick. Okay, and I know we don't have those same players on defense, but go ask Michael Vick how he felt running the ball against this team. You don't scare me. Okay. Right now, we got lots of Baltimoreans in chat room. And I get it, bro. There's nothing. Y'all can't watch shit. Kind of content y'all produce out there.
Jonas just dropped Spider 2 Y Banana in emojis, dude.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. That guy right there, very impressive. That's Yaya Diaby in the chat. Listen.
Yeah, we don't have Derek Brooks anymore, Jonathan Clark, but you don't have Trent Dilfer anymore.
You can't compare.
You can't
compare Lamar to Vic. Vic and Lamar probably in the same level electricity wise in terms of the run, but Lamar can throw the ball exponentially better than Michael Vick, especially back in the Falcon
You're high,
time.
bro. Vic had a better arm than Lamar.
He had a rocket. There was no accuracy.
Arm.
There was no accuracy to it. Lamar's pretty accurate. It just he kind of gets ahead of himself if you can put a lot of pressure on him and kind of make it feel like he's got to be the guy to win the game. And he kind of, I feel like at times overthinks and doesn't want to run because he doesn't want to be a running quarterback, if that makes sense. But, when you're down 30 points, 20 points in a playoff game, running with the quarterback only helps the defense at that point. So they kind of just let him do it, and he's trying not to do it, so he's working against himself. It's a whole thing. But if he gets 100 yards, but we stop Derrick Henry and we keep his arm in check and our secondary plays the way they're capable of playing, I'll take the 100 yards from him. I kind of would. I really don't think he will run for 100 yards, though. I don't see that happening. I see Todd coming up with something on the edge of that defense that'll keep him in the pocket and make him make a decision quickly. If you remember when we played them a couple years ago, the Dolphins kind of laid out a template because they were running a lot of the RPOs. They were bringing their corners on blitzes right off the edge. And Todd did the exact same thing, and we stymied them in that first half. Our problem was we couldn't keep it up because our offense couldn't do anything, so we just got beat down eventually, and they just stopped trying to do that. They just ran right up the gut. But Todd Bowles should have something figured out for a guy like this, in my opinion. I think we played pretty well against Jaden Daniels, who poses a similar type of stuff. He's less polished in that first game than he is now, and obviously than Lamar, but we kind of let him take a little bit of that just to get him away from throwing the ball down the field. So,
yeah, we've played a lot of running quarterbacks this season already.
Yeah.
So it's not like, and the league has got a lot of guys with wheels. Our guys got wheels. Is anybody worried about Baker hurting Baltimore with his feet? You should be. That guy has been a magic with his feet. So listen, it's hard for me to hate Baltimore. I really don't have any history, any reason to hate that team like I do most teams in the NFL, outside of taking our legendary quarterback Trent Dilfer and coming into our stadium and winning a Super Bowl. There's really nothing for me to hate you for outside of that. So maybe we break the Trent Dilfer curse.
There was the 6 touchdowns in the first half thrown by Joe Flacco into the end zone. I had a
that was such a beatdown. I couldn't even get mad. I was actually impressed.
Stank, that is the only game I've ever left early in my entire life. And that was because I was sitting next to a guy from the UK who was a massive Ravens fan and a complete fucking shitwad, dude, the entire game with my kid next to me. I
Have you ever met anybody from the UK that isn't a massive shitwad?
It was just a complete shitwad,
I'm sorry,
dude.
Shout out to Bucs UK.
And I kept saying to him, like, he's like in my face talking all this shit, and I'm like, you're not even from Baltimore. Like, what do you even like? You picked a team that was good to root for. There's nothing cool about that. I'm a fan of a shit squad. I mean, we got Greg Schiano fucking shitting his pants on the sideline during this game, all right? I didn't get to choose a good team. I didn't get to choose my team. It's just a team I had to fucking absorb, you know? So get out of here. So I hate the Ravens because of that Brit. Where the fuck this motherfucker lives, okay? And yeah, I had to watch Joe Flacco threw 6 touchdowns directly at me. I was in the end zone. He threw all 6 of them in my end zone. It was unbelievable.
You know what, Sammer? You're right, bro. I've been a bitch this entire episode. Fuck the Ravens.
Yeah, you know what,
fuck the city of Baltimore. Fuck them. You know what? I needed to bring that energy back, honestly. Fuck this team. Fuck birds.
Your hat. Look at your hat. Just fuck them.
Fuck them. All right. Fuck everybody in the chat room that has ever even been to Baltimore.
Fuck everyone in the chat room. Doesn't matter which team you're rooting for. Fuck all you guys.
Fuck you, Cali Bucks. As soon as you came in here, bro, the whole mood changed, bro. I know you got your fucking Metro PCS and you're sitting in the Starbucks cafe. You finally got some fucking service and now you want to come in here and talk some shit.
All right, Snake. Tomorrow you got to bring the best ever list, all right, for this Monday night game. All right. I don't care what you got going on Monday. I'm coming to your house. I'm helicoptering right down the middle of your street, 9 in the morning. And we're gonna start the festivities of Monday Night Football at 9 a.m. All right.
Sammer, somebody earlier was talking about your helicopter in the chat. How do you get your cats to like be cool in the helicopter? And you got like a full grown cheetah in there. They don't freak out. How do you get them to like get used to that?
They're trained. We have a chopper simulator on the property. And part of the pilot's training actually is to be able to understand how to deal with the cats on a chopper. So they're actually both in the simulator together, teaching each other. So the cats are brought up at a very young age in the chopper. Once a week, they get sit in there, understand the sounds, understand the do's and don'ts, you know, what they're allowed to do, where they're supposed to sit. And of course, you know, the pilot has to learn how to deal with an erratic cheetah if he fucking flips out. We've lost a few pilots, ain't gonna lie. It hasn't been a perfect science. We hit a couple of hiccups, had a couple speed bumps. So
that's how you get better.
You
learn from your mistakes.
Exactly. You know, you got to sacrifice a few sometimes, you know, to find the right ones. And we found the right, you know, method. And I think we're pretty good with that. So yeah, and they're pretty good, man. And once we land, you know, engines turned off, they understand how to deboard, and it's great. It's awesome. Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you.
Being a cat guy like you are, you know, I know you're cats. Like, how do you deal? I know you hate birds. You know, and funny that we're facing another team that's their logo's a bird. Like it's one of the dumbest birds too. People say that ravens are smart. I've never met a smart raven. Have you?
They're dumb.
No,
dumb.
They're dumb. They're dumb. They might be able to talk a little bit. I'll give ravens one bit of love. Like they can speak the English language a little bit better than people from Louisiana. Outside of that, they're pretty stupid though. And you being a cat guy, do your cats normally attack ravens when they see them?
Cheetahs don't eat ravens. They're too wiry, don't have enough meat, also too small for the appetite of a cheetah or a lion. It's kind of like almost like having a shrimp cocktail, you know, at a dinner party. It's kind of pointless. It's nice, you know, it looks fancy and whatnot, but it's also kind of a piece of shit. Usually has a shit line in it if you're going to a certain place, you know. It's not really So yeah, ravens are the shit shrimp of the bird world. Absolutely. I mean, nah. You ever heard anybody be like, "Yeah, I'm going to go get me a pet raven"? You ever heard anybody say, I want to be a big mean raven? No. Pterodactyls? That's a fucking scary flying animal. A pterodactyl. Not an eagle. Not a raven. Also, yeah, how big is an eagle compared to a raven, by the way? Have you seen them fucking things? Those things are huge.
Yeah. I mean, a raven's just like a bougie crow. You think about it. And crows nobody cares about crows.
Not really a bougie crow, like a gothic crow, like a, you know, it's
like an emo crow.
An emo crow, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Emo.
The
crow.
Ravens sitting there listening to Billie Eilish, crying, you know, cutting their arms and shit.
Yeah.
Who got around a stupid bird that's depressed?
The black toenail polish on the crow on the Ravens claws or talons, whatever you call them. Yeah, the Baltimore emo crows. That's what they are. I like that.
What a stupid animal. What a stupid team. What a stupid quarterback. Harbaugh. I don't care about your stupid dad. Okay, stop showing your stupid dad hardballs. Nobody cares about that.
What's that. Who's bringing their dad into a press conference, dude?
Not me. Not me.
Oh, hey, dad, you want to come to work with me? Hey, dad, you want to follow me around school?
Right?
Hey, like, yeah, all his friends are like, dude, that guy's dad's with him. What the fuck, dude? That guy's got his dad with him. He's probably no. Hey, you ever eaten a Raven, by the way?
No. I don't know. I mean, maybe I've had a lot of wings. Potentially, I could have eaten a Raven wing, but that feels like small people food. I'm not eating a Raven.
Yeah.
Gross.
So if we go through the NFL list of birds, right? The Raven and the Cardinal, easily the two bitch birds of the bunch, right?
Yeah, but at least Cardinal's a pretty looking bird, right? You look at that cardinal like,
it's a bitch. It's a bitch bird. You ever seen a cardinal fight a mockingbird? You know, Florida state bird, by the way.
Not recently, no.
A mockingbird kicks its ass every single time. Blue jay.
A mockingbird also is like inherently talking shit.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. It's Florida. I mean, so you know, So Cardinal and Raven, easily the two bitch birds of the NFL. It's not even close. That's why they don't win the playoffs. If you think about it, really, you know.
If you really think about it, Seahawk, that's the coolest bird. The fucking hawk sea.
I don't know. That's that's a sailor of the birds, you know.
Anyways, what the fuck are we talking about, bro?
I don't know. Talking about birds.
Yeah.
Time for Thursday Night Football. Listen, hey, make sure you guys leave your score predictions, your keys to the game in the comment section below. And also, if you haven't already, smash the like button for this amazing episode where we taught you about birds, how cheetahs fly by helicopter, and what bird is a bitch bird and not a bitch bird. And of course, if you are new, hit the subscribe button, please. And we appreciate the hell out of all of you. And while you're at it, go ahead and head over to our new, soon-to-be home, the YouTube channel at the 813 TV, which has all of our amazing shows and episodes from all of our other podcasts that live on the 813 network. And of course, check out the 813.tv and check out all the content that we have there, written articles, video content, and obviously all the shows.
I could pull a latte and raise my hand. Before we end the show, Sammer, I got a big announcement. Yeah. And it's actually gets me a little bit emotional.
Are you pregnant?
Not possible. My tubes are tough. My tubes are tough. No. I'm bringing back Buccaneers. I'm bringing back Buccaneers. Buccaneers is back, baby.
The Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers is back. Just me.
Hold on.
Intern Betty.
People who have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
What is Buccaneers?
Buccaneers is my brainchild, my love. It's how I cut my teeth in this industry. Can I say that? It feels like I'm like it's how I got
you're industry. You're all gums, dude.
You know, when I went to Hillsborough Community College to study business and then went to journalism. No, I never went to journalism school. I started my own show where I used to talk to myself, and I had a co-host, and me and her would just make shit up. And so people miss that for some reason. And you know, we don't take phone calls on this show where we should. We have fucking the best fans ever, the best callers ever, but you've eliminated them from our show. So Buccaneers is back. Format is going to be, you're going to leave me voicemails and I'm going to talk to you. And eventually I'll probably be taking some live calls too if I do some live streams, but it'll be a recorded show during the game. I'll be posting the number. You guys will leave me your Bucs takes during the game, after the game. And I'm back. I'm back, baby. I'm back. I like to thank JC for writing me a huge check. I mean, a huge check, but I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back.
Well,
yep.
You guys heard it here first. Some show that he's talking about that I don't know anything about is apparently coming back. So congratulations to the 12 listeners, us viewers that watch that.
Thank talking back and forth with the mirror, bro. You don't even know how accurate that is.
Yeah,
actually.
It's actually very accurate. It's like being back, Pepsi Crystal, a podcast, nostalgic and cool to see, but why? I like that. That's perfect. Yeah. For those of you who have no idea what Pepsi Crystal is, look it up. It was something. For real. It was actually something. Anyway, go Bucs. We'll see you guys after the game on Tuesday, not on Monday.
Fuck the Ravens.
And fuck the Ravens. Go Bucs.
It's kickoff. set it off. Go to Vegas, bet it all. Put it on the Bucs win, whoever they gon' play gon' fall. Don't say I ain't told y'all. Loose cannons gon' fold y'all. Yeah, the Heat be 9-3, but it gets real cold in the fall. That's when the season start. Bucs come in 40 hard. Win after win, ripping the division.